Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video we're going to talk about tier list mainly. You see now that there is the page for the update upcoming because I just want to get it done and over with so that I can then move on to the tier list topic. So I will just get started straight with this topic because there is really not much to mention. We all know that the update is going live this Thursday, so by the time this video is out it will be tomorrow. And in here, we can see the usual like rewards for the maintenance window, etc. So it's confirmed that they're going to do again the hot deal summon banner, and Shelial is confirmed to be the next unit. So okay, cool. Some of you might have already seen my video where I was complaining about it because I was expecting it to be Vivi. They had basically the same portrait, whatever, and I just don't understand, and I still don't understand, but that one was more probably related to the fact that we didn't get any news about the collab until the collab happened, basically. So yeah, I was pretty much upset by that. So, I mean, it's fine if they decide to release Shelial. I don't get why, because we are nowhere close to the arc where she appears, and I don't really see a reason why you would release that character. There are so many good characters you should release first, but whatever. It's fine, guys. They are releasing her, great. I don't particularly like her in the manhwa, so I'm just, okay, cool. There is a new unit. She will most likely be green, so I'm happy about that. I hope she's going to be good, so that I can have a new maxed out green character, just to help a bit against those annoying blue teams, but that's pretty much all, I would say. So it's confirmed, we have Shelial, great. Then we have two new story modes, which means 20 pulls in the standard banner, not too bad, I would say, I think. There's also other story, a day in the life of a princess, so this one should also be, I think, other 10 pulls, so cool, should be like 30 standard pools in here, not bad. They are going to expand the Trial of Origin, which was done today. Well, the day I'm recording, so yesterday, technically. Okay, cool. There is the check-in event, growth mission, we already knew. Audio summon banner, cool. Then the Tower of Alliances is back with all the changes that they made. So the skip function and like a visual feature to see which floor is currently more active because maybe there is an art account or stuff like that. So cool. We will see how this new Tower of Alliance event is going to play out. The first one was quite also generous, if I remember correctly. Like a lot of black market tickets were given for free. So I'm really excited for that as well. Really, really good. Then formation strategy lesson. This event, okay, is the usual one. Really nothing to be too excited about, but at least we get to, I don't know, get some dupes for some units, just in case. Then we have new products, whatever. If you don't spend money, you don't really care. Improvement and changes. We don't know what those improvements are other than the ones listed, so we know the ones that we just talked about Tower of Alliances. Underground, Conquest mode, Adventure mode, difficulty adjustments. We don't know what they're going to do. They already did a pretty massive nerf. I don't know what to expect now, because here I don't see any extension on the amount of floors. So I don't know. Like there are already some whales that are at the last floor. So if they are going to nerf it again and not release like content up to floor 70, stuff like that, maybe someone will complain about it. I could also, we could also expect that this is going to be an adjustment, but not in the direction of making the content easier, but making it harder again. So there is this doubt, guys. If you are like, no, I don't know. If you have these doubts, like as me, just push as much as you can now before they make any kind of adjustment and make your life harder. I would say for Conquest mode, it will likely be a nerf because that content, now that we can push so high in adventure, became a bit harder to clear. So they're going to nerf it almost for sure, but we don't know anything about the adventure mode adjustments. I mean, they could just be nerfs and keep on nerfing whatever, but the fact that they did not release additional force make me think that maybe they're making it more difficult to, I don't know, get some time to release more content later on. I don't know. And yeah, okay, the collab ends. That's pretty much all we know about this new update. There is not much, to be honest, but who knows? We will see the actual patch notes when they are released. So now back to the main topic, which is the most important one for this video, and that is tier list. So as most of you guys know already, I cooperated with Prydwen to update their tier list on this game, because in the video released like 2 weeks ago, so my tier list video, I also mentioned that I didn't really get how they were rating SSR plus units and stuff like that, because it didn't make a lot of sense. There was like Evankel at double S with 3 blue, which she is not, as a lot of you guys might already know, and some other changes were more or less needed. So they got in touch with me, and I thought it was a good idea to cooperate with them. I was really happy about it as well. So yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to improve on a tier list and try to help the community as much as possible. I obviously updated my spreadsheet as well, and we will look at the changelog in a second. So compared to the time when I released the first draft of the tier list 2 weeks ago, I would say now the tier list looks a lot better. I also talked about some units with some people that are more higher in the adventure than me to know how they feel about them, how they use them. And yeah, a lot of interesting things came out, so I modified a lot of rankings. And yeah, let's just go over quickly the one on Prydwen, and then we're going to go over my spreadsheet as well, because I added also explanations and other things that will also be added to Prydwen later on. So here, the first biggest change is that bossing has been removed. There is no more a bossing tier. And this was suggested to me by one of the best guys in this game at bossing. He told me it didn't really make any sense because you don't build, like, there is no unit that's good on all bosses. In general, you cannot really rate them. There are best comps for every boss. So these will be translated more in a, for boss A, these are the potential comps you could use based on your investment, your link levels, and stuff like that. So that's going to be developed later on. For now, what we decided to do is just mark the units that are used in some of these comps with the like little red skull icon here. So those units, you know that they're going to be used in some boss compositions of some sort. That's the main idea, because a whole tier list for just bossing didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, you cannot say unit A is better than unit B, because unit A is used on one boss, unit B is used on another one. They're both best at their own fights, but you cannot really rank them. I don't know if that makes sense. One another additional note, I would say, is that I also changed some rankings for PvP, but I'm no expert in PvP, to be honest. So those rankings might not be accurate as much. For story, I would say I'm pushing a lot myself. I'm like currently, I think at 7 times deficit, 8 times deficit, because yeah, here is written 3 times deficit, guys, but in reality now with the nerfs, you can really push as much as you want. As long as you have enough damage to kill them, you're good. So now I would say around like 100 level difference, you can clear it pretty much. Maybe not at the lower levels because the increase in combat power is a lot steeper early on, but when you reach like 360, 380, then 100 level difference is doable. And also when you go above 400, the amount of CP you gain will decrease. So 100 level difference is totally doable. But okay, that being said, let's go over quickly also the criteria at which the units are ranked, because that also changed a bit. So the default for SSR units is Rainbow 5, exclusive achievement plus 30. That's the default investment for the SSR units. But there are some that work perfectly fine even at lower investments, and those have been marked on the top right corner with like R3 for 3 red, O4 for orange 4, etc. This kind of thing, so that you know that you don't necessarily need to go above that investment for that unit to perform within that ranking, performance, whatever. So that's the first thing. The second one is that basically every single SSR Plus unit will have this icon in the top right corner, because they are too different from each other. It's not possible to say all SSR Plus should be 3 red, Rainbow 5, Orange 4, whatever. They are all different, so all of them will have an icon with the amount of investment needed. These are also the big differences in the criteria evaluation. So if you go down, you will also notice that SS became S plus. Yeah, this is just styling choice, I would say. To me, it was also fine SS, but it's fine. S plus is the thing I used on my spreadsheet, so it's fine if they decided to put it here as well. Now, I will start by saying one thing. Here, there is a mistake. I think when I told them the ranking, I, for some reason, marked Viol as a bossing unit. He is not. So they will correct it in the following days. Now there is other content that needs to be released for other games, so there is no rush. But be aware that Viol is not a bossing unit at the moment, so it's fine. Just a little mistake there. I don't think there are any others, but maybe we will find them as I go over, like in the following days. I don't know. There might be some mistakes here and there. But yeah, you will see that now there is this like 0 dupes, Evan, that is also used for some bosses, then bosses for BAM, etc., stuff like that. 3 blue for Karaka, I would say that he's already S plus tier at 3 blue. That's what I have on him, to be honest, and he never dies. He gets better, obviously, with more dupes, but within a reasonable range is not going to be S plus, whatever. Just he's already the best tank for purple at 3 blue. He only gets better, but not that much that is going to change the whole ranking. You will also notice Evankel here at orange 4. We could have put her at rainbow 5, and she would have been here in S+, but I don't know. I felt like there was a need to differentiate them a bit, because I think Viol has an higher importance than Evankel, at least early on. Then later on, obviously they all have their own use cases and stuff, but Viol will carry you better in the early game and is also a lot cheaper to build. Then you will see also the COLLAB units. They are pretty much all top tier units. There is just one note that I saw some guy writing in Reddit, and that is you don't need red 3 on Escanor, you just need red 1. True, you only need the passive at level 5. Sure, I agree. But, I mean, it's kind of bad to leave it with 1 star and that's it. I get it. Makes sense. You should not probably waste Suspendium to get him higher than red 1. But still, I mean, for the purpose of this tier list, I think it makes sense to leave it just like red 3 is totally fine. And yeah, here, if you have any doubts or questions, let me know also down below in the comments. We can discuss them. I will go over maybe some explanation in my spreadsheet when we look at the updates. But this is basically how it looks. Okay. I also think that probably Hansung Yu should be moved here. Yeah, maybe I will change it in the Excel file I shared with them because this guy really has no use and I don't like it being empty here in the D tier. So we could even move hacks above that, probably. Yeah, whatever. Just some minor things. I would say anything below B is not really relevant overall. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to mention. So there is this collaboration going on with Prydwen. I'm going to try to provide them with as much content as possible to also work more on the ignition weapon part. Maybe I will try to also implement the calculator that I have on my spreadsheet here. Maybe also change it a little bit to make it more universal, to take into account also maybe the TRESense facility and stuff like that, and then integrate it in the website so that you guys can use it directly without having to clone my spreadsheet and use it there. Okay, makes more sense. If possible, we will try, and I'll let you guys know. Then let's go over my spreadsheet. So here you can see I added the explanation note. We're going to read them, I think, quickly, just to see if there is anything off. But yeah, this is just a little addition I just made today. And these descriptions will also be added to Prydwen later on, as I said. So before going over the tier list again, which will take a lot of time, so I will try to keep it short and only read some explanations for the relevant units. But here in the changelog, if we go below, like I posted, I think the tier list on February 14, stuff like that. Yes, here, around here. And then I made a lot of changes. If you can see here, I changed a lot of rankings. So the first things you will notice is, well, not the first one because it's the first one in the list, but Shibisu went from being a great boss unit to being just average. Probably I lowered it even more. Yes, is B plus now. It could probably go even lower because the problem with bossing is that you don't really, as I said before, you don't have best units. It's not really possible to rank them. So actually, what I will do now is I will go here, select the boss column, and delete it directly. Okay. So, nope, I didn't want to do that. Delete the whole column and for boss as well. Okay, I will then have to, again, make the borders a bit thicker there, but whatever. I think I did it this way. Let me see. Only the right one. Perfect. All right. Makes sense. So I think I will keep it like this because, as I said, it doesn't make any sense. I will find a way to mark them for bosses. Maybe I will add a column like boss unit, then I will color it in green if it is, red if it's not. I don't know. I will find a way to mark them as boss units, okay? But it doesn't make any sense to keep them here, just adventure and PvP. And even then, as I said, PvP, I'm probably not the best reference for it. I'm not really trying enough. So if you are interested in that kind of content, well, you can probably look for better people to talk about it in the main Discord or somewhere else. But this is just a reference, pretty much, from my experience and some suggestions I received. So, okay, that being done, I think some things are just irrelevant. So all these bosses changes, we can just ignore them, okay? I will mention someone, I think in the explanations, I did some, like I mentioned Misang against Quant boss fight, the mock battle. Okay, then some other, I also mentioned those. So it's fine. All the bossing stuff we can just skip. And the first one that changed is Misang. Went from C to A plus in PvP as well, because I think I forgot I just changed it for adventure, but she's also really good at sniping certain units in PvP. Probably doesn't deserve A plus, could be B, maybe, but whatever. It's just a minor change, and as I said, I'm not an expert in PvP. Kisea went up from A plus to S because she can deal at times as much damage as Joaquin, times even more, but she's really, really good, so she deserves it. It makes sense to rank her up a bit. Lozelle, I also ranked her up from B plus to A, even though with like the hard, you usually run other supports. You don't necessarily run Lozelle, but still, she's a great unit. She deserves more, and she's the only support other than Chun Chung in the green element. So yeah. Here I increased Romay ranking, but then I lowered it, I think, a couple of days ago. Romay, yes, to B plus. I lowered it to A again and then to B plus. And the reason why is that someone pointed out that Romay is not really that helpful in like the red element, because if you are against Zahard, which is usually where you use your red team, is going to like destroy your whole team if you have a shield on. So she's kind of counterproductive, and that makes total sense. The plus would be that the shield she provides can help dodge some annoying like debuffs and crowd controls, sure, but it's also a suicide kind of unit. To me, it's not really that relevant because even if I ever invested, she's usually in the front line and she's going to die before she can even cast a special skill. So she's basically just there to give either Runda or Doris based on the needs. So yeah, I'm not really even using her. She's just there as a pawn to be sacrificed. So yeah, that was that. Then we don't care about bosses. Go Sang, I ranked her up from B to A because the buff she provides to the whole team is really, really impactful. And there are a lot of scenarios where you actually use her in adventure even later on. So she's definitely a great unit. Gray, on the other hand, with all the changes and nerfs to the adventure, you can now push a lot more. And in turn, she got a lot worse because she needs to survive the first hit to fear the enemy. And now that we push higher and higher deficits, she cannot do that. She's going to die 100% of the times, so she's useless basically. I lowered it to C because she can still be used as a plug and play unit in some lower floors, but really not that useful. And okay, that was also like for adventure, but here I mentioned for PvP. So for PvP is also bad because you cannot like really control. It's okay if you're on the offensive side, but if you are on the defensive side, you cannot really use her. And even on the offensive, yeah, she's just average. And as a unit, I think she just went down a bit in ranking. Now, another big one that I changed multiple times, like you will see all 3 times I updated the tier list, I ranked him down a bit. I started at Hess before I had him a 3 red, because the multipliers seemed good. Everything in his skill like screamed damage to me, but it doesn't do any damage at all. So not S. Then I ranked it down to A. I tried him a bit more, and definitely not A as well. So I put him to, I think, B plus. Yeah, B plus now. And I don't know. That guy really disappointed me. I was hoping at least he could deal damage, but obviously I always talk about multipliers, but we know that multipliers are not all in this game because they're going to multiply your attack. If you have a lower attack, and he does because he's a stupid tank for some reason, is going to deal less damage even if he has the same multipliers as an Evankel per se. So kind of disappointed there, and that guy definitely went down a lot in the tier list. We don't care about bosses for ads. I lowered Nare ranking from B plus to B. To be fair, I will probably increase it to B plus again later on. Not that it changes much. I would still keep her in B, but there is a really good comp that I might share later on where she excels in adventure. So yeah, she can definitely have some uses. I also increased Apple because she's really helpful against the Zahard in adventure. When you have issues, when that guy starts with like golden needle phase or golden needle skill, he starts dodging a lot. You can prevent it with Apple a little bit, so definitely useful. And she can also decrease swiftness. That's always helpful. So she definitely got an increase in adventure. She could even go higher, but for now I felt like B was enough. I increased compressed ranking as well because he's really good at getting down some annoying units with high regen. And he can also get rid of Urek at times, so that's definitely a plus for me. And I feel like he deserves S tier. For a Craptor, I also increased his ranking because that guy is definitely a really, really good unit. So I don't feel like giving him S, but definitely a plus is well deserved. Then Child and Dorsey. This one was a big jump because a lot of people flamed me for it. I gave her B plus at the beginning. And yeah, I mean, if you, I didn't really treat her right when I was using her. I was just giving her bad stuff, like bad ignition weapons, bad everything, lower links, and then she didn't do anything. But if you put her in a nice link with the right units, like if you couple her with Evan, you give her a nice Bergamot set with resistances, stuff like that. She can actually uh, kill a lot of enemy units. She can really do well. So S for the state that the green is at the moment is deserved. We will see tomorrow when Sheila releases if she's going to be green. Highly likely. I would say 99% she's going to be green. We'll see if something changes, if Sheila becomes the S tier and Child and Dorsey goes back to A. We don't know, but yeah, I would say for now, S tier is well deserved. So that was all for the first update. Then I did a few more. As I said, Data Urek or May, changed them again. I increased the ranking of Yellowy. I could probably increase her even a bit more. Probably A would be well deserved because she can buff Viol like crazy. And yeah, I will also personally take her Exodia Came to plus 20 at some point just to give her the Doris set so that she further boosts my Viol. But yeah, she's definitely a great unit to pair with him, and I'm using her a lot now in floor 42. So really good unit. And there is also another important unit, Michael, and I would say that guy could probably end up in S. I don't know if I ended up giving him A plus. I think so. No, I don't see it. But yeah, definitely A plus will be deserved. I don't know if I will also give him S. We will see. Because he's also part of the comp that I was talking about with Nare. But this guy is like the usual Ryana one-shot unit, so he's going to remove one of the enemies. And you can pick and choose which unit to remove because that guy is going to dash to teleport to the enemy in the mirroring position. He's not like Misang that's going to dash straight forward and only hit the front line. He can also target the back line, which is really, really important. He cannot kill Urek. Okay, fine. It's a big deal for a lot of people. I would say for me as well. But yeah, Michael, I wrote also in the explanation that is worse than Misang for me, but I don't think so. I will change that explanation later on in the following days when I can get to test him a bit more. Because at the moment I don't have enough investment. But I saw a lot of people showing me strategies and compositions with him that really are insane. So really, really great unit. I will try him and build him as my next unit after Shiriel, obviously. So yeah, definitely not a unit to sleep on. I can also just tell you briefly what the composition is. Well, not really. Well, just a combo, and then you can figure it out later. And I will also show it to you guys as soon as I can pull it off. I would say. So the composition would be him and Warion. So also Warion will get probably an increase in ranking only because of this interaction. And just those two units together are crazy good because not Hiwa, Warion, as you know, is going to target the ice attack enemy at the beginning of the battle. Is going to mark that unit as the weak point enemy. And when that unit dies, you're going, like, the whole team is going to get 400 energy. And you can know which unit is going to be the highest attack. You can just check them all and see which unit has the highest attack. And if that unit is not invincible or has some, like, is blue or something else, you can just put Michael in the mirroring position, and you will start the energy with 400, we'll start the fight, not the energy. You start the battle with 400 energy more on all your units. And if you have some units with Rainbow 5, you give them 400 energy, they're going to cast a special skill immediately. And you will see which unit we're talking about probably in one of the future videos, but most of you can already guess which unit I'm talking about. So really, really huge interaction there. And then we have the last changes where, like Escanor, I increased this ranking from S to S+, really well deserved. I don't think anyone has anything to say about it. And Ren, I also increased it from A+ to S because that guy in the current meta is just too good. It deals a considerable amount of damage, and it can also tank like crazy because you can reach 100% resistances with ease. So really, really good unit. Beware, this is a 3 red. Okay. Then we have for Data Urek. Again, as I already mentioned, I lowered him to B+. Could be even lower, but whatever. Then Leroro, I upgraded his ranking from B+ to A because some people pointed out how good his kit is. He has like defense decrease, he has swiftness decrease on the enemies, which is actually used and lasts for a long time as well. Also, the damage he deals is not too bad, and he can buff the attack of all the like blue units. So overall, is a solid unit. It deserves more than B. I agree, so I decided to change the ranking as well. And I'm also working on building him a bit more. Hatzling went up from C to B because there are people that are using him with success at higher floors. So that means it's definitely a viable option. I don't have him personally, so I couldn't put him higher than that, even though some people told me that he definitely deserves A. But with blue being stacked as it is, there are a lot of great units there. And me not having him built, I cannot really test him for myself and see how good he is also at lower floors and with lower amounts of investment, because obviously those people at higher floors also have better tree essence facilities, so more swiftness, more everything. So for sure, that unit will work really well in those scenarios. It might not work as well where most people are, like around in the mid 30s, early 40s floors. So I just felt I didn't feel comfortable giving him A, so I decided to settle for B+. Beware, that is an option now, but is definitely inferior to Elizabeth anyway, so yeah. Then Shibisu again, for bosses we don't care, but some people pointed out that is actually quite usable in Adventure. Again, in higher floors there are people using him with the resistancy set, because at that point it doesn't die immediately, which was one of my biggest complaints with him. So it could be worth a shot. People told me he deserved B in Adventure. Could be true, but same reason as for Hatzling. I don't have him built, so I cannot tell, and that's why I left him in the C+. I only increased his rank up to C+. Then for Eden, I increased the boss rating, but again, I just removed it, so it doesn't matter. Nare increased the ranking again in Adventure to B+. Could go higher, because she also works in that comp that I mentioned before with Warion and Michael. So yeah, could go higher, but she is definitely a unit that could be considered later on. Mediolas went up from S to S+. Well, not much to say, that guy is really insane. For some reason, I think in the last clear I did in floor 42, he was left alone for some reason. Escanor died. I didn't really see how, but he was still alive. It was 1v3 and he won. I was like, wait, what? So, okay, is great coupled with Escanor, because Escanor can also keep his attack buff up all the time, because Meliodas is going to have 50% more attack when attacking enemies with debuffs on, and Escanor is applying debuffs all the time with his uh, zone that he has around him. So really a good synergy, but seems like Meliodas is still good even if Escanor is dead for some reason. He really cannot die after the special skill is cast, and he receives cap damage. So yeah, whatever. Then we have Amigo charts. I decreased this ranking from B to C+. I also decreased Rack and Ghost because those are just mainly tanks. And for Ghost and Rack, I'm pretty confident they can tank at a certain point. Not so sure about Amigo charts. But in general, I don't feel like those units have any use in Adventure at all. So I decided to lower it from B to C+. So yeah. And then Romay that I already mentioned from A to B+. So those are the changes, and they're pretty much similar here. You will see that the positioning are pretty much the same. Here we don't have A+, B+, C+, etc., but you kind of get the idea. And yeah, that was pretty much all the changes here. I think the video is already quite long, guys. Let me see. Yeah, it's 36 minutes already. So I don't know if it makes sense to go over the changes here as well, the little descriptions. I would say just have a look at them. If you feel like there is anything off, anything to point out, typos, whatever, just write them down in the comment or in my Discord server and we can talk about it and make the necessary changes if needed. So yeah, that was pretty much all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope this new system or this new tier list also on the Prydwen website can help you guys a bit more, like focusing on the right units. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future cooperation and some additional things we can add to the website to benefit all of you guys. So again, if you like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.